Oh my God.
Hi, everybody.
People say, come on in the room, come on in the room.
I hate it.
And then they do, like they be doing this right here.
Share, 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 share.
Oh, we just waiting on somebody else to come in before we start talking. They say that.
Oh, yeah. Just going to give it 2 minutes. Let people come on in the room. Share, share, share.
That is hilarious. Let me...
Hi, Lucy Lou. I love that name.
Airplane mode. Boom. Okay.
Okay.
I turned it on airplane mode so I can...
Oh, I need to do the same thing.
Boom. Let's see who this light.
Don't you love it?
Yes.
It's blinding.
Oh, hi.
It's a little blinding, but...
Y'all coming on in, huh? Lucy Lou, she said thank you. Lucy Lou, love her name.
I do. That's such a cute name. Here we go, Lucy Lou.
And then, am I wrong? Is that an actress's name as well? No? Charlie's Angel? That wasn't her name?
It could be. I don't know. Hi, Autumn.
What is it?
Hey, Saucy.
Cameron D and Destiny. Yeah, Lucy Lou. That was...
No clue.
What's going on, Saucy?
Hi, Marissa.
Marissa.
We have such a cool night.
Hello. Who's that? Davis.
Sean. Hi,
Oh, Sean is back with us.
Elijah.
Evening.
Is that Elijah? Elijah Joy. Good evening, Joshua Winfrey. Hi. Hugging, loving Brent. Okay.
All right, Brent. Shoot. Let him know.
You're one of those, huh? You're one of those wear my hug kind of guy.
Oh, no. Please don't. You can't be that. So, we are excited for tonight. Tori, what's going on?
Oh, that was my other question for him.
We're excited for tonight because we have Toneisha Harris and Justin Guarini joining us.
Come on in the room.
Tori said we in the building.
In the room.
And that is so fast. You hear that?
In the room. Room. I can do it again. You messed me up. In the room. I can't do it again. You just
in the room. I can't go that fast though. That was yours was faster. It was so. Saucy said, bro, this is legit a whole TV show. It is. So it's called Conversations with Dileesa. And this is installment 4. Oh, featuring Hollywood.
Featuring Hollywood.
Featuring Hollywood, and we have special guests. On Conversations, Toneisha's in here. She said another request. Awesome, Keith.
I just want y'all to know when the camera goes off, he's literally like this all the time.
Yes,
this isn't just for the camera.
It's funny because the people that do know me, they know that. But like, or, you know, people see on the internet and I guess I look fun. I actually am fun. It's just that it takes a long time for me to actually hang around somebody.
So ridiculous.
But when I finally do hang around you, we're going to laugh. We're going to enjoy each other.
Can you do it?
Yes.
I'm struggling. This is such a delicate setup, guys.
We are now waiting on Toneisha Harris.
Hello, beautiful girl.
Uh-oh. What's happening already?
No, we can't do that.
There we go. Yeah. I was like, what just happened?
There we are.
How you doing?
I don't know what just happened. I'm good. How are you all doing? It's so good to be with you guys.
Good.
You're really going in and out.
Yeah, what just
I
happened?
know. I just realized that. Hold on.
Oh, well, sound great. Sound great.
You sound
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that better?
It seems better so far.
Okay. Is that better? Are we on?
Yes.
Yep, we are on now.
Okay. Good.
How are you?
How are you guys?
So this is my
I'm
friend
good. How
Hollywood.
you guys
I met
doing?
you.
Hi, Hollywood. Yeah.
Hey, man. All right, don't be waving at me like this now. Come on.
He put that out.
All right, now. And you can say...
Thank you for having me, guys.
I first met you a couple of years ago, right? And when I met
Yes.
you, you were like, I know you. You're the voice teacher on YouTube. And I was
Yes.
really embarrassed because we were at an audition, right?
What?
And then I heard you sing, and I was like, if I don't get it, it's gonna be because of her.
Oh no. But Delisa, your voice is amazing. I've always thought that. I absolutely love your voice. But we often don't like the way that we sound. Other people will love it, but you're amazing. You really are.
Thank you.
Okay, and extremely versatile.
Yes, that.
My God.
Let's talk about that. That is very rare. Yes, you are.
Thank
Indeed.
you. She talking about this isn't about me. Well, it is.
Well,
that's the truth.
Well, I was saying that to say I can recognize when somebody is better than me. And when I heard you, I was like, okay, yeah.
No, not at all. Not better, just different.
Okay.
And that's
I
good.
take that. Thank you for being gracious.
But it's good to be able to. She said being gracious. But it's good to be able to recognize the greatness in somebody else.
Absolutely. Your voice is so beautiful. Your vibrato.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Your voice has a combination of like power, agility.
Yes.
Well, thank you. All these words. Thank you very much. You're making me feel great on this evening. I appreciate it. But that's really big coming from such a professional as yourself. I mean, you're a vocal coach. You're helping these amazing people find their gym as well. And so, that means a lot. Thank you.
Somebody?
Oh my God, Toneisha,
See?
you're just so gracious.
It's the truth.
Okay.
It's the truth. Thank you. The truth.
So I'm not, like as they say in the church, we ain't gonna hold you long.
Okay. All right,
we have several questions we want to get through.
Right.
And so the first one was, you were on The Voice during COVID. You were on The Voice during the season. So how did you, what was your idea of what being on The Voice was going to be versus what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. It was actually like night and day, honestly. Obviously, those of us who have watched the show, we were expecting to have this live experience on the stage, but COVID didn't allow that to happen. But I do appreciate the fact that they readjusted and found a way to still give us some semblance of a season, even though we couldn't do it there. So I missed the live crowd. I missed being able to pull on that energy. But at the same time, it stretched me as an artist. It stretched me as a singer to sing in my little room that I'm where I am right now, but to envision that it was a mass amount of people here with me that I was actually singing to. And that helped me be able to kind of get through that because it was difficult at first. It really, really was. And some of us, it was hard for us to adjust to be able to still do that because it was nothing like what we've seen seasons before, But yeah, I'm glad we got through it.
How many live shows did you actually do? Because I remember you did a few in LA, and then it was all of a sudden you were, like you said, in your room.
We were able to do the blind auditions, the battle rounds, and the knockout rounds there in LA. Everything else had to all happen from home. Yeah.
So how did that sharpen you as a performer? I feel like everyone that goes on these shows, that the amount of adjustments you have to make that you're not expecting. How does that sharpen you as a performer?
I will tell you this. I remember my first time working with the vocal coach for the show. And I remember it was for Diamonds in particular. I got to sing Rihanna Diamonds, and she allowed me to stretch myself and to give it my own spin. But I remember going in very confident and very comfortable in a specific key. And she said, you know what, that sounds great. It gives me chills, but I really think you could go higher. I was not having it. I immediately in that moment said, no, this is where I'm comfortable. I don't want to go higher. What are you talking about? And I think we do that as singers. We find our spot. And we get very comfortable there, and we don't really like to stretch ourselves beyond that. But I like that it did that for me, because then I started to discover more things about myself and my range. And so she made me go through the entire song in a higher note, and I broke down crying. And I remember her asking me, okay, what are the tears about? And I said, because honestly, in this moment, I realized I didn't believe in myself beyond my comfort zone.
Ooh.
And so that was a big discovery for me. I didn't think that I could do it. I didn't think that, I could stretch like that. I hadn't sang really like that in a very, very long time. I just was doing praise and worship. I might write every now and then, but it's not the same as performance, live shows, and just being able to sing these mainstream songs and pull on a place that's still a place of truth, but doesn't sound like you're taking everything to church.
Right.
So that's been interesting. That was definitely interesting as well, because we rely on all of the things that we learn to do in church, but it doesn't work in every platform. So I had to learn that. So yeah, I
That was
hope I answered
good.
your question.
No,
That's good. My God. That's a good answer.
That was fantastic. You have a question?
About the yeah, I want to know. So when you auditioned, well, when you got on the show, and you're doing the the blind audition, and all 4 of them turned around. Okay,
I
first
still
of
can't believe
all,
it.
John Legend was the first one to turn around. I would have, I would have frozen and I would have stopped singing at that point. But you kept singing, and all 4 of them turned around. Like, tell me what was the first thought that goes in your head? Because me, I probably would have cussed in my head. I was like, oh.
Okay, so Hollywood, I have to tell you this too.
Okay.
So I remember going up the steps to the stage, and I told myself in my head, don't trip. Just don't trip.
Okay.
And you need one. There's one chair. Don't trip in these heels, and just get one chair. So I took center stage, and the music starts, and I'm singing. And when John turned around, I did the little, you know how we do in church when we see the people in the pulpit, we kind of just honor them. Oh, I can laugh at that now. I'm so churchy, it's ridiculous. But that he turned around, and but he being churchy also understood what was happening.
Bless you.
But oh my God, the moment that he did that, that's exactly what I did while I was singing. But I kept right on going, and then I never imagined in a million years that the rest of the chairs would turn and that I would get to choose. I was absolutely fine if it meant that I ended up on John's team. But then when I realized the rest of these chairs started turning, I was beside myself, really. I just told myself, finish the song, because I was geeking out for a second.
Oh, God. I would
I
have been
really
able to
was.
control my voice after that.
Oh, wow.
You would have heard all types of weird vibrato happening if everybody
Well,
turned around.
I will tell you, they did a great job of preparing us for that, because they have seen that happen in the past. And so that was the one thing that they drove from the beginning, is when these chairs start to turn for you guys, whether it's one chair or 4, just remember, when they turn, you can acknowledge it, but don't let it take you off your game. So they drove that point home for us. And I think that really helped, because trust me, my insides were going like this. Oh my God, all 4 chairs. And I just remember I had to tell myself, finish the song. I honestly kept thinking about that note that I had to hit. And I wanted to make sure that I hit it. But the moment that it came out, and I was like, oh, okay, I can breathe now. Yeah, I took a little minute, did a little ditty on the stage, you know. Yeah.
I love it.
That is so funny.
Okay, so what made you go with Blake?
That is the $1 million question. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
why did you choose him? I love country, first and foremost. Absolutely love country music. I love all genres. I think that, and I say this all the time, I think that for any singer, whether you're a seasoned singer or an aspiring singer, it is imperative that you study all genres of music. You can't box yourself in. You can't be one-sided. That's where versatility comes from, right? Exactly. This is somebody who can go from opera to R&B to church. I mean, that's hard to find. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I love Delisa's voice, because I did some opera singing as well back in my early days. So I love finding us who stretch ourselves beyond that. So I know I'm not answering your question. So all of that to say, I wanted to do something different and out of the box. I also do not like being predictable. That's just me.
Okay.
I don't like being predictable. I don't like going in the direction that everyone else is going. I really kind of like to push the parameters and go against the grain. And so when I realized I had an opportunity to choose, in that moment, it was something about Blake's pitch when he just kind of talked to me.
Hilarious.
He always has great pitches.
He
always
said,
has great pitches.
he said something like, "Now I know I can't sing as well as you, but experience."
Yes.
And that's what sold me.
I was like, "Oh my goodness, that was good. That was good."
Yeah. Yep. And I think that that's the line that got me. That, and he called me sis. I was done after that.
Yeah, he did. Now, sis.
He said sis. I said, okay,
did.
I'm done. I'm sold. Yeah. And then what you didn't get to see is right after that audition, Blake wanted to come backstage and meet my family. He wanted to meet my son
Wow.
because that was such an intricate part of my story. And he
Yes.
took that moment. He took a moment to come backstage and to shake their hands and to meet them and speak with them for a while. And so that really resonated with me as well, made me know that I made the right choice.
Yes. Your son's name is Trent, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And he's
Yeah.
doing great in college online. Amen.
Amazing. Yes. Yes. He's had to adjust with
He made
COVID
the
as
Dean's
well.
list, right?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on,
And I've
research.
been
You know, a little
He
something.
is, yes, he is doing amazing. He really, really is. I'm really proud of him. He's going into his third year graphic design at Georgia State. And I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better, honestly. Yeah.
Amazing. You another
Yes.
question. So you with that, since you mentioned that, a lot of people get this notoriety or they go on these shows or they get some type of mainstream success and they really focus on, I would say, themselves or their family or their money or something. And you've
Uh-huh.
been tied to movements and causes
Mm,
of purpose. So
yes.
would you like to talk a little bit about that? Tell us, first of all, why that's so important to you.
Well, I had the opportunity first right after the show to do something with Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to me as a mom of two African American boys, well, men now. It's important that I not only keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening, but that I also make my voice known. I think that in any movement, true movement, you see that music has been the centerpiece of it. The beautiful thing about music is that our words really are healing. They can be healing if we use them in the right way. And music transcends color, generations, religion, culture. It really just speaks to the heart of people. And so I wanted to be that kind of person. How do I take what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, and then translate it in a way that it inspires, but also speaks very clearly to where we are? I think that is important. So that was one in particular that is definitely important to me. And then the cancer research. I've been able to be a part of a couple of cancer events that have been amazing. I would have never thought that I'd be doing anything with UMass. They are one of the major places that do cancer research. Then there's Camp Sunshine. I mean, just so many Cure that I'm actually about to do something with them next month. So I remember. Honestly, I remember when my son was diagnosed, I remember feeling like, oh my God, I'm now a part of a community that nobody wants to be a part of. But I'm here now. So what do I do with this now? I honestly, when we were in it, I couldn't see that. I knew once we came to the end of it that I was gonna do something, but I had no idea it would be to this magnitude. And when I got the opportunity to audition again for the voice, the first thing that my son said is, now you actually get to be a voice for us. You get to use this platform, which is what he wanted me to do from his hospital bed when I originally was supposed to audition. So it came full circle, and now I really have this opportunity, and it's amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing.
Goodness. You have anything?
That's so needy.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
That's beautiful.
Anything else?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I guess that was just going to kind of lead into my question about what was the impetus that, I didn't know if it was because you have grown children now that made you say, you know what, let me step out and do this for myself, type of a thing.
I honestly did not think that I would be doing this. I didn't. I thought, I just turned 45. So who starts a career at that age? And now, don't get me wrong. I know that there are several who do, but not necessarily in music. and and so that is what my main concern was. And I honestly had come to the conclusion that I'll just be a praise and worship leader. Maybe I'll write a couple of songs for somebody, and I'll be fine with that. But I realize now that God had other plans. That there's obviously still something in my voice that the world needs to hear. So I don't want to fight against that anymore. I know you're laughing at me, but you really have no idea how much in my head I have been as an artist, as a singer, thinking, as a creative, you're definitely vulnerable about your stuff. I think we all are. And so when you share it with people, you're just not sure. You're not sure what kind of feedback you're going to get. You're not sure if your fans are going to like it because they fair weather friends sometimes. And that's just the truth. So you don't know. And I had to make the decision that I was going to do a sound that spoke to me. And whoever was supposed to be attracted to that sound would be. I was no longer going to chase after people that just weren't assigned to my sound. And that has been so freeing for me. And not just that, but I just started to appreciate my sound. I didn't do that for a long, long time. And so that has just really, really pushed me.
When you
I've been
say
doing my
sound, do you mean the way that you sing, or you're talking about your sound as an artist? Like,
my both. So my sound, the way that I sing, because people have to like that as well. But mostly overall as an artist, what I bring to the table, what that brand looks like, what is it really speaking to, or who is it really supposed to speak to? Is it the world at large? Is it just church? Is it just a few people? I mean, kind of finding what that platform is and grooming that, growing in that. And I've definitely been doing that, growing in my sound as an artist, and not letting people control what that looks like and sounds like. Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
important.
Yeah.
That's
So,
very, very important.
Lord, please. How did you do that?
But yeah.
Lord, you know what?
Please. No, that's not it though.
It's not. But what's funny is I was just like you're doing right now. It's how I was in the studio, and finally, the writer, Jarrell Moore, he said, "Think James Brown, think old school." And so I said, "Oh, okay, like please, 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 like that song." And he said, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I think I got it now." Lord, please forgive me. So it's a quick,
Please.
please,
Please.
please.
I got it.
Please. It's one, two. It's really just 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Please give me. Yeah.
You slay me every time. You do it about 50 times in the song, and every time I'm like, ooh.
Thank you. And it's funny because in that song in particular, I listened back. I listened back and I was concerned. Am I not doing enough? Am I too laid back on this song? But in that moment, I said, I think that I've definitely shown enough agility in my voice that if I take this moment to just say, let me give you a little here and a little there, but I really want you to hear the message of the song. And that's what really, really spoke to me about that song when he introduced that song to me. I had been going through a time where I was dealing with forgiving other people. I think we all kind of have that moment in our lives when we're really trying to grow. And
Yes.
so I have been working through trying to forgive some folk. I'm still working. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And,
I didn't know if I was alone.
okay. No, because I have not mastered it, sugar.
I missed your high five. Let's do it again. Boom. There we go.
Yes.
I know. Okay. All right. Cool.
You are not alone at all. And so that leads me to my next point. I think that there's not enough artists that are really being honest about where their music is coming from, where that translation of that music is coming from. Even though I didn't write it, when he presented it to me, I was like, oh my God, okay, this is really speaking to not only about forgiveness and who I need to forgive, even forgiving myself for some things. But I mean, those of us that know the scripture, we know that it says that if we don't forgive, then how can we be forgiven? I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, you don't
But
want to go to hell.
that child, but some people almost made me consider it here. That's just honest.
I love it. Some people almost made me consider it.
Almost
Amazing.
made me consider, but I don't like the heat. So I said, let me go on and work on this. So yeah, I started to do my own journey, and I realized that there were some things I needed him to forgive me for. And I literally stood in my kitchen and just started saying, okay, forgive me for this, forgive me for this. Oh, I didn't realize that this was there. Forgive me for this. I just had my own moment with him. And I started to say, oh, okay, God, now the same way that this song is speaking to me, that's what I need you to do when others hear it. Call us back to the altar. Call us back to a place of understanding and repentance and grace, because it is gone out of the church. Call us back to that. And we need that again. And that's where that song came from.
That's awesome. So here's kind of a joke.
Okay.
I had somebody that I really I was very upset at, and I didn't think I would ever forgive. And so I finally got to the point where the Lord was, trying to, I basically called this person and I said, God is trying to have a conversation with me, but I keep talking to him about you.
That's
So
good. That's good.
I want you to know that I forgive you, and I want the best for you, and I want God's best for you. And then before I knew it, it came out of my mouth. And please forgive me for anything I've done for you. I was like,
what I need forget what I need forgiveness for. Yes. That's so real.
that was not me. That was not what this was about.
But you know what? I I am learning. I know I've heard people say it, but I really am learning more and more that forgiveness is so vital for you. It's vital for us personally. I was walking around mad for years at somebody who wasn't even thinking about me. And I'm holding on to something, and it's, making me sick and making me upset. And they living their best life. So wait a minute. Well, why am I missing out? What do I need to do so that I don't get hung up in this? And that's what I realized. Okay, you got to let some stuff go, sugar. And that's not easy. It's really not. But you got to be honest with yourself about that. And I don't think that that's happening enough.
Absolutely. So many people are burdened.
The quote that I saw said that forgiveness is not for them, it's for you because you deserve peace.
Yes, that's so good, and it's so true.
That for everything that we're holding on to, we're forfeiting something that God has for us.
Absolutely.
Look,
we're forfeiting
I love the old hymns, and when it says, "What a friend we have in Jesus," it says, "Oh, what peace we often forfeit." Oh, what needless pains we bear.
Needless.
I think a lot needless.
Unnecessary.
I think
we hold on to our anger like it's a prize.
Like we wear it like a jacket. What are you talking about? Like a garment.
Look at me,
and
mad
he's
at
like,
you.
wait a minute, give me that. What are you mad for? And why won't you let me fix it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm learning in this season of my life that he really is a good father. Not just singing about it, but that he is a good father if you let him be. And he is a good friend if you let him be. The kind of friend that'll tell you the truth about yourself, but still love you through it. Yeah, he'll be that if you let him. And I think that I realized, as long as I've been in church, I really hadn't let him. And so that I started to realize that recently, like, oh, okay. So it just kind of starts to change the dynamic of your relationship and your understanding of yourself. And that's now when I get to present to the world in my music, because I'm understanding myself in a way that I had not before, and my power. And we're pretty powerful if we really walk in that. And so I'm starting to do that now. And I am loving this journey. I'm having so much fun. I really am watching the creator continue to create through me. That's amazing. And it's humbling.
And
so,
wasn't it a beautiful thing that God loved you enough to not give you a platform before you had done that kind of hard work?
Absolutely. That is so big, because I would have been a mess. I often look at it and think, if God had given me this at 20, if he had given me this at 25, at 30, it would have been great. And I may have slayed it. However, I'd have been a mess. And so what does it really profit a man? So, okay, well, I don't want to be messed up, and I don't want to be singing people to healing, because that's what I want to do. I want to create more healers in my music, through my music. And the only way you can do that is if you become healed and a healer yourself. So I'm trying to do that through my music now. And I was not healed. I was walking around very angry, but guarding that and masking it very well. Just didn't trust people, just did not. I mean, I knew how to put on the face, and I was always very pleasant. I was taught to be that way, but really letting people see the true me, I just didn't do it. I didn't trust it. And so I didn't realize that in not trusting people, I wasn't trusting God either. I was equating God to his creation. And we make that mistake too. So I definitely have had to learn and do some work. And you're right. Now I'm able to sing from a place where I'm like, I understand where you are. So let me show you how to get through it. That's the thing. Let me just show you. Let me show you how to get through it. It's possible.
Thing from a healed place.
I shared with someone. That's another thing I had the opportunity to do, being on the Chavez Chronicles. Dr. Ben Chavez, one of our amazing civil rights leaders. I was with him recently, and I said to him, pain has a sound. And we have sung from a place of pain for a very, very long time. We've got encouraged, or what we thought was encouraged by it, but all we were doing is really kind of placating our pain with one another. You in pain, I'm in pain. Well, let's be in pain together. But at what point do we? At what point exactly? And we commiserate in our misery.
And
at what point?
Oh, she anointed. No, you just identify with their brokenness.
Oh,
that's it. That's sugar. That is it. And we've done that for a very, very long time. And so at what point do we, after saying that to him, I said, but if pain has a sound, healing has to have a sound as well. And I'm interested in finding out what that sounds like. I have done a lot from a very, very broken place. So now I want to know what it is to do something from a healed and whole place. And that's where I'm working towards.
Marquise Scott said, Hollywood, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
We right.
We had that conversation.
The conversation about the trauma bonding, but we call
wow.
it.
Yeah. It's amazing what we do in our realm sometimes.
I'd be like,
we gotta fix it, y'all. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix it.
So do you have no? Because I was gonna say if the audience has a question before we let her go.
Yeah. Do y'all have any questions? Somebody said, y'all better stop. You got me shouting.
Go ahead.
You're probably in your home, so do as you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Shout on, honey. Shout on.
You're going to have to pay for that carpet, not us.
Well, I don't know if anyone's asking any. Okay, to be honest, I'm scared to click on the question
setup. They weren't asking any questions. Oh, they weren't asking setup?
Yeah, because I'm scared of the phone. This is one little rigged up thing we got going on, okay? It is
I
rigged.
understand.
Okay, no.
All right. So one last question before we let you go, and you guys, before we let her go, I will just say, please make sure that you follow her. She has a new single called "Oh My God, Forgive Me." She is blazing. If you guys haven't watched her, you need to see her on The Voice, and just Google anything else you can find of this amazing woman of God, amazing singer.
Thank you.
Songstress, just amazing. Last question.
And she's also a public speaker. So book her for that as well. You know.
Yes.
And as you can hear, she's well spoken and articulate. So the last thing I want to ask is something that we ask everybody, like all singers ask each other. I just want to know who are your musical inspirations? Well, who were your musical inspirations when you were growing up?
I come from a family of singers, and I still to this day love to hear my mom and my aunts sing. The Vini gospel singers were my inspiration. That's where I got my start. Outside of that, I'm an old soul, so I still love listening to Mahalia Jackson. I still love listening. I have actually her LP. I have it in a record player. I love listening to Aretha Franklin growing up as well. I studied Kim Burrell before people really knew who Kim Burrell was. Oh my God, love her. That was a huge inspiration for me. And then the softer side of Whitney showed me that it was okay to be soft, and I didn't have to belt out everything all the time. Love Whitney stuff. And then I listened to people like Dolly Parton. There's something about the harmonies in country that is really, really pure. The Dixie Chicks, I would listen to them a lot. I'd listen to Johnny Cash a lot, believe it or not, John Denver. I'd listen to, a lot of the 80s rock. I was a huge fan of Journey, Foreigner, B-52s, just all of them. I was very eclectic in music and listened to all of that. I really am the friend that you take in the grocery store and will sing to every song that's coming up. Every song. My children have left me in the aisle several times because I'm singing and dancing in every song. It doesn't matter. But I love that. Yeah. That's some of my inspirations.
That's great. That's amazing. Well, we can tell how versatile you are, that you listen to, that you have, I guess, a musical palette that is spread. So that's good, and that's great. And thank you for what you offer. You're Toneisha, you're an inspiration to people that I would just say that have to overcome hardship and dream again. You're an inspiration for those people. So I hope that the people watching can get that from you now and forever, like to dream again. Please keep telling your story. Thank you so much for being kind and sweet and healed. Because you give us a different song.
I'm still working. Yes, thank you so much. I'm still doing my work, Hollywood, but thank y'all. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you. And thank y'all for having me. I really, really appreciate
No
it.
problem. Have a good night.
You too. And tell Justin I said hey, okay?
Uh-oh.
tell, tell him Toneisha said hey. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Bye. Uh-oh. Okay, here we are. Here we are. What does that mean?
I don't. It's so funny. I don't know.
There's a little thing going in the middle of the screen, guys. What does this mean?
I think it's still processing her getting off.
Okay. What's the name of the single?
Oh, I did kind of want her to sing, but I didn't want to be a bother.
Oh, I would have said something. I would have asked. Okay. But what's the name of the single? It's called Forgive Me If You're Still There. Justin! Oh my God. Justin Guarini. He saw it. He said it. We have a request. Let's go. We're going straight to it. All right.
In the room.
Come on.
Hey!
Come on in the room.
Well, I have to follow Toneisha? Why y'all gonna give me the second service?
Not second service.
Everybody shows up in jeans to my service. How you doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
This
here
is
on
my
the.
friend Hollywood, by the way.
Hi Hollywood. How you feeling, brother? You
I'm
good?
great.
I'm on the right coast with you guys. It has been a day. My wife and I have 3 kids and 3 dogs, so we are we're living. Hi everybody. Toneisha is just absolutely lovely. I'm so glad you guys got her.
Oh my goodness, isn't she?
Her voice
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So
Let's dive in.
yeah, I know you're fried. I have 3 children as well.
Oh, it's okay.
Because
Because you're intelligent.
yeah.
I made sure. I don't know what I was thinking.
I can't do it all. Gotta choose. But okay, like there's so much. There's so many.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm here.
You're amazing. You're a legend.
I'm here.
So where do we start?
You are fully loaded.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for even.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
No, of course. I love being here, and I mean, I would be a liar to say that I haven't seen what you do on the interwebs here, and I'm very happy for you. I'm proud. Yeah, of course. I'm here to support that and support what you do, and you support what I do, and we all meet in the middle. And
Thank you. Okay.
So
I know that's really cool. I'm gonna try, but I gotta get through this. So
don't cry. Let's talk.
So what I remember watching you on the first season of American Idol, and I remember thinking to myself, he's so polished.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a performer as prepared as you. And then, of course, I read into your background, and I'm not sure if you have degrees in theater, but you definitely, I know you went to college for theater. And so I'm just like, okay, that makes sense. You were so prepared. So here's my question. I've seen that, since then, so much has happened. You've done movies. You've done what was it? Not Entertainment Tonight. It was the TV Guide channel. I remember that, the Idol wrap up. You've done the commercials, which we will get to.
Oh, we gotta get to
that is hilarious.
it.
But you've done all of those things.
Yes.
Do you feel like you could have done, because of your background and training, do you feel like Idol gave you a boost that you needed, or you could have been on that path either way?
Oh God. No, I'd have been on that path either way. It's just how much further down the road I would have been. I was listening to somebody tonight, and they were talking about infrastructure. And if you Google United States oil pipeline infrastructure, there's actually a map of the oil and how it flows throughout the country and the major pipelines. So the reason why I bring that up, and I know that you could speak to this firsthand with what you do in your coaching, DiLeesa, is that there's a foundation. If you get that right, if you get the infrastructure right, whether that is in your spirituality, whether that's in your at your job, or whether it's with your art, if you get that infrastructure right, then it allows you to pump, I guess, your message or your energy or whatever it is further, wider, and more efficiently. So that being said, I studied vocal performance in college, and then I studied musical theater in college because I had always loved that. And in 2002, I came to this fork in the road where literally the joke that we love to make is like whenever the phone is ringing, you're like, oh, wait, excuse me, it's Broadway calling. I got to get this. And literally, Broadway called me because for years I've been auditioning for The Lion King and had been told this, oh, not yet, not quite yet, not quite yet, not quite yet. And then I got it. But then all of a sudden there was this other show that no one had ever heard of out in California, a place I'd never been at that point. And I was forced to make a choice. So long story short, I was walking down the aisle at the Pasadena Civic Center, and where we were doing the filming that year. And I looked up at the stage and I burst into tears. And I'm not one who, especially at 22 now that I'm older, but at 22, I'm not one for, you know, wild outbursts of emotion. And I realized in that moment that that was the stage that Michael Jackson did the moonwalk on for the first time at the Motown 50th. That is the place where so many of the people that I know, I love, I have come, shared their arts. And now here I am, this kid from, you know, Atlanta, this kid from Philadelphia, who is now getting to do the same exact thing. And that gave me that moment of understanding. And so I guess the short answer to your question is, yeah, it gave me a huge boost. Are you kidding? I mean, it was 30 million people not just the finale. The finale was 30 million people every week. It's like, you can't do that now, right? I mean, and so, yes, it was a huge, huge boost. I love it. I'm so grateful for it. And the fact that I still am in touch with many of the people that I've worked with, on both sides of the camera, is a testament to how much that really truly is family once you become a part of it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So that's really good. So you don't regret turning down Broadway. I can't imagine.
No, because 10 years later, yes. But what's interesting with me is that, you know, it's just amazing how things work in my life, because this business is cyclical. The entertainment business is cyclical. It comes back around. And I have been told this by people whose names you would know, and I've experienced it in my life. And it's like, if you do good work, if you're a kind person, and if you do not give up, this business will come around to you. Maybe it'll come around in your church. Maybe it'll come around in the region. Maybe it'll come around on a national level. Maybe it'll come around on a world level. But it will come around. And will come around again and again, if you do good work, if you are a kind person, and if you just stay in the game. And so I stayed in the game long enough. And I mean, believe me, I was like Moses in the desert, y'all, in Hollywood after that show ended. I mean, I just was like, I'd follow any sand pillar that didn't say it was fine. It didn't matter. So it was a hard 10 years after that show. Even though I had success, most of it was that kind of success that's like, you know, I got the watch, but I don't really have the savings account. You know what I mean? Like that type of success. And so I found myself 10 years after that show ended in the opening night party of my first Broadway show, which was held in the hotel room, in the conference room in Times Square, where I sat for the very first time and auditioned for American Idol. So it was this big 360, and it just is. It's been an amazing. I feel like I've lived 3 or 4 different lifetimes. So night since Idol, because it's been an amazing road, really, and challenging.
Okay, so my question is, first of all, that was an amazing answer. Thank you.
Right.
We love long answers.
Right.
Good time. Right. Speaking of watches, yeah. Go ahead.
We love long answers.
Mm-hmm.
But so what do you? Okay, so we just got off with Toneisha, right? Who had to do it like from her house during COVID. What is the difference, or how do you think you would have fared if you would have done it now versus 18 years ago? 18, yeah.
Well, Right, yeah, 18 years ago. So, well, look, I mean, if I knew then what I know now, and if I were to know the same thing now, ooh, oh man, I don't know. I think I'm so lucky and so glad to have been on that first season because we had something that only lasted the first maybe 3 seasons, and that was impact. None so big as that first season. People were like, what is this show? And then 30 million other people were like, we love it. And so I work now. I get to be on this channel with you now. I get to do all kinds of things now because of 18 years ago. I just took the chance. I said yes, right? You know, and so I think, I don't know if now it would have the same sort of impact because now, I mean, then they were like, here's the contract, sign away your life, like most of those contracts are, right? But now they're like, here's the contract, you'll sign away your life for X amount and you do what you want. You know, because the system has changed, right? There wasn't iTunes, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't any of that 18 years ago. And so, I mean, and you think, why were there 30 million people watching? Because there were no shows like that. But now you've got, you know, the Voice, obviously. You got all of those different shows that, again, disperse that audience. So I don't know that I would have done, I don't think I would have done as well just because of the fact it's so spread out now. But I think I would have certainly taken advantage of the social media that exists now because now you can create your own narrative. Right back then, there were paparazzi still, and the media, the traditional media, dominated the narrative, and you had to go through them in order to define yourself. Whereas now, you have the power to do that, and an audience of 1,000 rabid fans is 10 times better than an audience of 100,000 sort of casual. We'll check in once in a while.
This is true. This is true. I love that.
Yes.
You have a question?
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and jump to it, Lil Sweet, because listen, so you are what Flo is to Progressive, and you are what Isaiah Mustafa is to Old Spice. That is you for Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know 2 things. Who came up with that character and you executed it perfectly? Yeah. And then the second thing is, did Prince ever hear about it and what did he say? What did he think?
Prince. Oh, God love him. Okay, I'll answer your first question. So the first question really goes back to, I was doing a 9-month contract on Broadway for Wicked, where I played this guy who danced around and played the Prince, and in 9 months of that was challenging to say the least. There's dancing and singing, and then I was commuting back and forth between Philly here and New York, and that's 5 hours round trip. And so I was tired, and I did not want to do anything. My agent was like, "Hey, there's this audition for a commercial, and then all these rock stars named all these '80s rock stars." And I was like, "I don't look, sound, or act like any of them. I'm tired. Just yeah." And she's like, "Go in." I said, "No, go in. No, go in. No, go in. I'm going." And it was one of the greatest things I had ever decided to do, because obviously here 6 years later, I'm still doing it, right? But the greatest thing to anyone who is watching right now, this Brett Shuford, I love you, Brett. Another amazing fellow actor and mentor and coach.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, man. So I would say the greatest thing that I learned is that I knew this, but I didn't really understand it. But anybody who is watching right now of your people, DiLeesa, who audition or who have to perform, one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned, that I tell all my students all the time, is stop caring so much. Not about yourself and but what they think. That nameless, faceless they, or sometimes that they on the other side of the table. Because I stopped caring. And it was the greatest thing about what they thought, and I decided to have fun. I walked into the audition thinking, I'm not going to get this. There's no way. But I'm here. I made the 2.5-hour trip to get here. I'm just going to have a good time. And wouldn't you know it, the script was on, it was literally this big room, kind of like what I'm sitting in, and like there was a couple of LCD screens with the script on it, so I didn't have to memorize anything. There was a casting assistant behind the camera who's just like, go. And on the script, it said, Lil Sweet slides in on his knees. So I was like, all right. I was like, okay, am I out of frame? They're like, no. Okay, am I out of frame? No.
Yes.
And I said, okay, great. And he said, go for it. And I was like, Lil Sweet sliding in on his knees. And just doing it, just silliness. And there were things that I sang that weren't, I mean, none of that was supposed to be sung. I was just having a fun time, and they literally gave me a scarf and one of those like gold sequin jackets you get at like Party City, USA, cheap, $5 thing. And I just had fun with it. I understood from what they wanted. They wanted some sort of like slinky sort of rock star kind of thing. And I just decided to have a good time. And wouldn't you know it, long story short, 3 days later, after me auditioning a couple more times, they said, can you get on a plane to LA? I got on the plane to LA that Friday. It was probably like a Wednesday I started auditioning. I got on that plane the Friday. We did all the fittings. Then Monday we were shooting. And now here 6 years later, I get to be foolish. And it's just foolish. It's just foolishness. It's like, it's the stuff that I do to entertain my kids.
Your kids.
But it's so authentic, right? But it's just the authenticity of just not caring, of having a good time. More so than not caring. It's just I have a good time, and it shows through in the character. And so when it comes to Prince, you know, I will say that we put sort of all of these 80s rock star characters in a blender. You'll get some of your Steven Tyler.
Oh yeah.
And, some of what's Bret Michaels and all that. So all of it kind of is in there. But because of just the general sort of way I look and the long hair and the stuff, I can see how people would be like, oh, that's Prince.
And the falsetto.
And the and all that. Like, yeah. I mean, sure, that was definitely an influence, you know. But I was just I was more on the side of just being silly. And the fact that he is like really tiny, like, I mean, like, come on, I mean, that's a funny thing. And I've been fortunate to meet Prince and be around him a couple of different occasions, and he was very little. I mean, but again, like, he was a little, and like, you know, the heels were the truth. Like, there was a chunky heel, but it was a heel. And
but Prince though.
Yeah. Prince, no, he's amazing. You know, my wife just sent me something the other day. It was like Tom Petty and like every sort of white rock musician you can think of was on the stage. And like literally Prince was way over on the side, and they were doing some tribute to George Harrison. And it was this line of people, and George Harrison's son, and like, I forget all these other folks, but Tom Petty was there. And Prince was like literally out of the light. And then it came time for his solo, and he came right to zero, right to the center, and just, I mean, tore the stage up, was like doing his thing. And I mean, there was at one point where he turned his back to the audience and started falling backwards, and there was somebody who was obviously pre-set there to get him.
That is so dramatic.
I mean, just putting on a clinic with the guitar, too. So, I mean, he's an amazing human being. But yeah, I love that character. I love the fact that I get to take from influences like Prince and Steven Tyler and all your big 80s rock stars. But it is just an exercise in joy and fun and just having a good time for me.
The funniest one for me, all of them are hilarious, but there was like, real sweet coming out the pool bone dry or something like that.
You know what? We were shooting one year in this beautiful mansion in the Hollywood something's Hills or another. And I am in the back, and it's like a home office that I'm sitting into. And I look around and I'm like, there's a lot of records on the wall. And wait a minute, I know that. And who would walk in the door but Tank? It's Tank's house. We were filming in Tank's house. in LA, and he walked in, and that is his favorite one. Well, that is the one. He and I were having a good laugh about it. But yeah, Tank and Judah, that was their little house, and I'm like, what? And so they obviously rented it out. And yeah, that's also Tank's favorite. My favorite one is called Washing Machine, and it's
yes.
Yes, right?
You said,
and like
have the spin cycle.
Yes, and I love it for the other actors because they both do the most wonderful things, and it's so subtle. And if you watch it, you'll know the gentleman who Verbal Rappin' is his Instagram name, and you'll know him because he's been all, I think, a CBS show, and so he does this really amazing like take with just one word, just to show how great of an actor he is, and then the woman who's in it does this thing which makes me laugh every single time I see it. I hand her my delicates, right, because of my delicates and like, tumble dry, extra heat, and do like all this silliness. And then she takes it and like just a second, like half a second before she leaves the screen, she goes, and she sniffs them, and it go back and watch it. It's the funniest thing. It's funny to me, and I love it. And so it's been a great run to have 6 years of that.
That's awesome.
Man, I mean, but even with that, like his career is so. You have like 3 different.
So vast. Yeah, you had several careers within a career.
Yeah, like
I know, and I'm very, very blessed to have good people around me. That's what counts. At the end of the day, it's like I know that Toneisha talked about just the suffering that she's been through and what Hollywood and these reality shows can do to you, and it's true. You really, it's like being put up on the pedestal, and then somebody comes along with a bat and just pops it out from under you, right? I mean, it is what it is, and then you're like, well, who am I? Because we're taught so much to make that a part of our identity, right? Our success. I mean, especially in America. I mean, the success and money and fame or those things we're taught to identify with them, right? And then it becomes very jarring to lose all of that. And so really at the end of the day, I consider myself lucky to have a wonderful family and just to be surrounded with kind, good-hearted people, because at the end of the day, all this career that I have doesn't mean anything, or have had or whatever, doesn't mean anything if I don't have love and I don't have my kids and my family and my wife and all the things that actually matter.
So I have a question. You have a business where you teach people. You do. I noticed it. Where you teach people how to audition.
Yeah.
How can you tell us about that?
Yes, so it's the Online Audition Academy, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm actually sitting in my office right here. Fortunately, it's right down my house. Yeah, and so, but that's the thing. It's like it just looks. This is the way I kind of have it. It looks a little like I could be in a vampire movie maybe, but at the end of the day, I love teaching people how to just stop acting, start playing, really, at the end of the day. When people, whether it's you're singing, whether you're acting, I just love performance, and I love to teach. I used to think, especially when I was young and foolish, that like those who couldn't do taught, right? That's right. It's easy to buy into that, especially when you're given a lot of success early on. But I feel like now those who can teach must. You have to, especially now. And I love seeing like the light bulb go off over my students' heads. And so I've been doing a lot of privates, a lot of master classes, but I'm excited now because my first big online course, my Online Audition Academy Masterclass, is going to come out in the first week of November. and it's crazy timing, but I think now more than ever, especially with all the distractions around us, is the time to focus and to say, okay, I've done my part. I've done what I can do for the elections here in America, but now we must move on one way or another. We've got to move on, and so why not, when a lot of people are going this way, focus and say, okay, what can I do? You know, for my people who are in the Broadway scene, we're shut down for the next,
until June 1st.
year.
Yeah.
Right. And so what do? Well,
Exactly.
you can sit on the tub, sit on the ice cream, it's been a long day. Sit on the couch and eat a tub of ice cream while you're sitting on the tub. Doesn't matter. Or, which is great, I think that's great. Like, go ahead, just relax. That's fine. But if that's all that you do, then you're going to be in trouble when it comes time to get going again. So I feel the balance of maintaining your skills and learning new skills, because we're all being forced to do this. We're all being forced into this medium. And so why not learn? And I've been very fortunate to have a great deal of success here and to really find the joy in it. I love doing this. It's weird for me. It's weird because I was always like, oh, I be on the stage and, you know, on this side of the camera and blah, blah, blah. But I love being, I love teaching. And I've been doing it for years now. And it's just almost like this came along at the perfect time, because I was studying marketing. I was studying all the things it takes to just get your message out, because there are so many people talking about so many things. And so
social media, don't you feel schizophrenic sometimes on social media? Like somebody died, somebody got married, it's just too much.
Because you know everything about everybody and they're willing to tell you.
Yeah.
They're more than willing to let you know. And so, you know, and then that's it. That's Torier. Torier is absolutely right. Torier is saying this is the best time for artist development, right? What else are you gonna do? Right? I mean, you know, and so I would not be surprised if at some point we go back into some sort of quarantine in this country, in America. And so, you know, what can you do? I mean, it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of mindset, which is something else I love to work on. It's like, you know, not only do you work on your skill sets, but at the end of the day, what's your mindset? What's your attitude? What's your story? Who is the you that you are bringing to this song? Who are you bringing? Who is the you that you're bringing to this scene? And now we have had to take a very hard look at ourselves. A very hard look at ourselves. How many people do you know who are going through marital problems, who are having challenges that they were able to ignore?
They don't even like themselves, much less their partner.
Right? And I mean, look,
you
and I would be a liar to say that we're not dealing with that in some sort of way ourselves. But there's a way to deal with it where you stare it in the face and say, okay, let's go.
Let's do it.
And then there's another way to deal with it where you just try and hide from it. And so I am of the mind, let's go. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm the furthest thing from perfect. I'm not going to pretend to be joyful every single minute. If somebody had told me that running a business would be this hard, I probably would never have done it. You know, I mean, like, it's a thing. It's just, and then
I always call it, it's a final project that never ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in school, you have that big research paper. It's the research paper that just never ends. It just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, just like our friend Torier was saying, now is the time. Now's the time. It's here.
I have 2 degrees in voice. And one thing that I feel like I'm missing is I wish I would have had one acting class. I wish acting at some point was part of getting a voice degree, because by the end of it, you know, it's like, well, you're the graduate student, so we're expecting you to do the lead and do the hardest parts and do the highest parts. And you're like, well, I'm looking awkward on stage. Like, what? You got to interact with these people.
Yeah. But that's why, and look, I studied vocal performance in college and musical theater, and I was a terrible student. I had to learn the hard way. I was a terrible student. Someday I'll tell you the story. But I learned the hard way to stop acting and start playing. That's really it. I know, look, there's technique to being on stage. There's things that you need to learn, like blocking and where I'm supposed to be on the stage, and all kinds of things that come with the actual education of it. But at the end of the day, when you're delivering a song, DiLeesa, you don't need to act. I mean, that's what I love to express to my students, because my students feel like, many people feel like you gotta wear someone else's skin when you're right, and that is a trap, because it's never going to be you. Whereas if you say, okay, whether you're singing a song or you're playing in a scene, it's all about how can I take these lyrics, how can I take these words and filter them through my own experience.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Now, it's going to be a challenge to allow yourself to do that. That's the biggest part. Am I going to allow myself to be vulnerable enough in front of all of these people to express what it is that's really going on? And what's interesting is that I have been able to tell my deepest, darkest secrets to a room of 1,600 people at the Gershwin Theater in New York City in Wicked, but I use someone else's words, I use someone else's actions, I use someone else's intentions. But I didn't have to act. I didn't have to pretend. It's the same thing. You know, when you see a singer who's really feeling a song, when you look at a Nina Simone, or when you, you know, whether, I don't know who it is. I'm thinking the people who like rip your heart out, Donny Hathaway, or like, you know, those are the people, even Aretha.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. That's old soul singers, but soul singers is a great place to start, where they allow the pain to guide them. They allow those lyrics and those things to dredge up those emotions. And they don't have to. You don't have to act. Just play. Just allow. Discover yourself in the lyrics. Discover yourself in the scene, and you will never have to act.
I love it.
That's good.
Yeah, my pride is the way my pride is set up.
Yeah.
That'll take me a minute. Like it does. The very first opera I did, I mean, I was playing a maid, and you know that's kind of weird because I'm the black girl, and then they made me the maid. But that was the only other female lead role. But the point is, I was.
What opera was it?
Oh my gosh. I was Berta, it wasn't Marriage to Figaro. It was the other one. Mozart had two of them. I want to say like
Magic Flute? The Magic Flute?
No, I have to look it up. This is so bad that I can't remember. It's terrible. It's actually, it was Rosina. It was all the same characters. Rosina, Berta, all of them. This is so bad. But anyway,
it's fine.
It's so bad I can't remember it because it was a
Look,
great show.
I don't know. All I know is the Marriage of Figaro, and I think the Magic Flute might be him, but I can't. What was the one where it's all about the guys going to hell? I forget.
Barbara of Seville.
Yes,
Callie
yes.
Callie Day,
Days online.
the wonderful Callie Day, and Callie Day, this is actually Justin that you said earlier. Yeah, that's him.
So I said that to say, you know, I'm a black girl with dreadlocks, and they put me in a maid outfit. I'm supposed to be an Italian woman in the 17th century, and they gave me a broom, and they were like, okay, sweep the floor. And why was I like?
Yeah, because you feel like, oh, I've got to really, we take that heightened sense that we feel, and we just are like, and you've never swept the room like,
I've never swept the room before.
But as you do it more, you learn to contain that And you know, when it comes to film, I mean, it's like when you're up there on the screen, it's like your face is this big, right? And so you learn that it becomes about just feel the emotions and it'll happen, right? Simplification when you're talking about a format like we're on right now, even. But theater, look, and there's something that is supposed to be a little big to theater. And opera is like the one place where you can overact and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was great. That was great. No, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, you learn to contain that and make it this really powerful ball of energy that you can then direct in a sort of a distilled sort of way, right? But again, it's just your pride. You talk about your pride. I love to dig into people's story. We won't do it here, but that pride is a story. These are all constructs, right?
Yeah.
I am, whatever that is followed by, is your story. And what I love to tell my students is like, you want to change your life, change your story.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about, you were talking earlier about anointing, right? That shared sort of suffering. And what that is, that's a story. You know, I mean, those things that we say, that we wear like a jewelry, you know, my pain, my suffering, this is what makes me.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh no, I can't. Who am I without these things? They're all stories. They're all stories. And so, you know, so many people I work with come to me with the story of, I don't feel confident. And I said, okay, when did that start? I get to, you know, get to be the therapist a little bit. I'm like, okay, let's find out that story. Let's dig back through the chapters. Are you the author of that story? Oh, no, because somebody who's grown in your life said this, that, or the other to you. Oh, well, they're the author of that story. Do you want them to do you want to allow them to keep writing your story? Oh. You know, and it's just like when we begin to ask those questions of ourselves, then we understand, oh, wait a minute, I have a choice. I have agency. This is what God gave me, agency. The choice. Squirrel doesn't have that. You know what I mean? You get too close to a squirrel, the squirrel runs away because there is a lack of, there's something natural, whatever that distance is, and something that says you can only get so close.
Yeah.
But we have agency, we have choice, the ability to navigate and narrate our own stories. And so whether you want to do that for a song or a scene or whatever, I mean, and that's what I mean, really, look. At the end of the day, like, I love to teach people technique, and here's the, you know, here's the, oh look, here's the lights you use, and here's the curtains and all that, right? But it's the mind, it's the thoughts, it's the story, it's what's going on here and here. I say, yes, come, I'll teach you about lights and cameras and the sound and all that other stuff, and I do teach about it, but then I do a little ninja thing, and I come in and I say, hey, what's your story? And let's talk about what's real. Let's talk about what's really going on. And then we really truly make change, because people try and think, okay, if I get the right light, if I get the right curtain, if I get the right sound, if I get the right camera, if I get the right scene, if I get the right song, if I get the right clothes, if I get the right you know, hair, then all right, we're good to go. But they completely forget about who it is that they are bringing to all those things. And if you don't get your story right, if you don't know how to tell your story in a way that serves you, you're never going to be able to tell someone else's story.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's 11:09. I don't want to hold you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's my pleasure. Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Yeah, of course.
You're so
of course.
articulate, so full of wisdom.
Thank you. Well, look, it comes from 42 years of hard knocks. I'll be turning 42 in 2 weeks, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm just grateful that I've had the wonderful career that I've had, that I get to interact with wonderful people like you, and that I just get to share a little bit of what I've learned the hard way, so that our people don't have to learn it the hard way, at least not that lesson the hard way.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Hopefully, you know, that'll be one of me. Hopefully I can benefit from it too. So.
Yeah. No, I know I need at least an acting class because I'm bad. I'm gonna be like,
Sure.
so,
Sure.
thank you. Thank you so very, very much. And let's keep in touch. I had no idea you were on the East Coast.
Man.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
I look forward to more.
I'm here. Where are you based?
Atlanta.
I'm sorry, what? What's this? Oh, you're in Atlanta? ATL? Oh, I have so much family down there. My dad lives in Jonesboro. And yeah, no, it's my mom started at CNN. My dad was police officer for a long time, became chief of police under Maynard Jackson down there, and so I know ATL very well. And I can't wait to come back. I was just down there a month or so ago.
Oh, dope. Dope. Well, let's keep in touch, Mr. Guarini. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Well, you have an awesome night.
All right. You have a good night. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
That was great.
Somebody said I'd love to move to Atlanta. Yeah, it's pretty crazy here.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi was strange.
Yeah, and so this is.
Hi, Miss Callie. Thanks for coming through, guys.
Thanks, guys. Oh my goodness, that was so great.
So many gems.
Tanisha.
Is Tanisha still on here?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But just saying, like, we went from Toneisha to Justin. This was amazing to have both of them on tonight. My goodness, all of the experience, though.
They're both a wealth of wisdom.
All of the experience, the skill.
I feel like when God doesn't open doors for you, he's doing you a favor.
That too, yeah.
He's doing you a favor. And then when he finally does give you that platform, you can look at how much more effective it was to speak to her and get to know her on the other side of so many.
Oh, Justin, it's okay.
What happened?
Justin said sorry for the crappy internet. Started messing up toward the end, but we're good.
No, it was just messing up towards the end, but we got you. We got everything we needed.
That was so great. It was so cool. Justin, we used to watch him on TV. Oh my.
I know. I used to watch him on TV. I'm just kind of going with the flow here, but I'm not gonna act like I'm not a little starstruck.
Right. You know, I didn't want to, you know.
But that was This is so cool. I mean, it's been like 4 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. We started with
Shalea Frazier. Oh my God.
And we did
Asaph Ward.
Asaph Ward, legendary producer.
Mrs. Callie Day.
We did Callie Day. Amazing.
Who's
amazing
on here now.
Who's on here now. And then we did Justin Guarini and Tanisha Harris. I think we're doing all right.
Ooh, and we are just getting started because next week is going to be even. We're just going to keep elevating. Oh my goodness! To talk about all this experience and to talk about experience next week, man, y'all better share this. What do people say? Share. Tell somebody.
Thank you guys for watching.
Marquise said both interviews were amazing. Keep killing it, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Marquise.
We call it Conversations with Deleesa.
Oh. And
featuring Hollywood right now.
Yes.
And who else? What is it? Oh, special guest is what I said earlier. I was trying to remember how I introduced it. At the beginning, It was Conversations with Deleesa, featuring Hollywood, and special guest, whoever's on.
That's so nice to always come and help me with these.
Absolutely. I was glad to get the call. She said, come and help. I'm like, yeah, of course, let's do it. But, okay, Marquise said, y'all got me excited to tune in weekly after my busy Mondays. Oh, thank you. He is very busy. He's an industry man.
Me too. I'm up at 7:15 in the morning.
I got 4 hours of sleep last night.
Pretty much. So anyway, I'm going to let
Chris said y'all doing I think y'all doing all right, too. All right. Chris, I think y'all doing all right, too.
We're doing what we can.
Doing all right. Yeah,
we're doing what we can.
But I guess we'll go ahead and end it now, right?
You're the love of a lifetime. So you
with
guys,
Deleesa single. Deleesa has a single out. She also has merch
I have merch that I'm not wearing right now, but it says singer, and I'm so happy because people have not only been buying it, but they've been wearing it and taking pictures in it.
So please wear it and take pictures in it, and then tag her so that she can share as well.
Yes, I'm Black, so it's a Black-owned business, so that helps too.
And tell other people. Simply Chris said, DiLeesa in Hollywood, my favorite vocal analyst. I'm always tuned in. Thank you. We already babes.
We already babes.
We're already
just 4 weeks in. You're the love of a lifetime.
Okay, TJ said he loves the new song.
Oh, thank you. Your love is my lifeline. Your love fought for me when I was astray.
Ugh. I can't sing like that,
Even
guys.
think that this time I was always on.
You're mine.
Yes.
I came in right word. Kathy, they said supporting you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
God
much.
bless y'all. We're going to go.
All right,
It's
guys.
after 11 o'clock.
Yeah. And it's been a long day for all of us.
Yes,
So,
it's a Monday.
thank you for joining us for Conversations with DiLeesa.
Oh my God, I love it. We have a name now. All right.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye.